Good morning, good morning, good morning. Good morning, son. How are you? Hey, we have to become faithful like the sun, yo. Hey, I just wanted to just jump on here real quick. Give you this word that's been bubbling up in me. I'm gonna try to block the sun, but it keeps shining through. Hey, a lot of people are so spooky. They get real spooky about what they get. It's a really touchy situation or a touchy topic when you start talking about speaking in tongues. People are like, man, you know what? You know, I go to church, I read my word, you know, I pray every day. Sometimes I may witness once or twice a year, you know. I lift my hands in church, but when it comes to speaking in tongues, man, that's a little too spooky for me. I don't know if it's real, and I've been talking to people from, time to time about speaking in tongues, and a lot of people, they very interested in learning how it all works and what's the true benefits of it. So I try to explain it in a way that God would have me to explain it to them. Because me, I'm a super skeptical person when it comes to things like that. I mean, so when I first learned how to speak in tongues, they was like, oh, you got it. I was like, oh no, it just sounded like jibber jabber to me. But then over the years of speaking in tongues, this is what I would do. I would work with a lot of Mexicans on the job site, and I go on the job sites, and they be speaking in Spanish. And I was like, man, you know what? Bump y'all, man. I just speak in my own language, And y'all, I'm be laughing at y'all. Then they're like, okay, let me hear your language. And I start speaking in tongues. I'll be like, Bran stonaleke, komanso, pratebik besta, jona flaki bosubrukumentevik veife. And they get to looking around, they like, hey, speak some more. So they begin to call other workers in the room and like, hey, come listen to this, man. Come listen, drink, go, say it again. And I'd be like, Danasta, Dovasto, Brenkemen, Monsuji Kamlanto Bobvusta. And the Bible talks about how beautiful it is. The heavenly language is not taught in schools, nor could anybody teach it to you. It's just a gift that you ask for, and it's a direct contact with God. It's the heavenly language that's untouched by you, and it's untouched by the devil. So it's a pure prayer. You can't even put your hands on it. The enemy don't even know what you're praying about. So the Bible talks about how you pray in the Holy Ghost, and you can read chapters on 1 Corinthians chapter 13 and 14, and it explains a little bit more about speaking in tongues. And it's a perfect prayer. And once you pray in that perfect prayer, and like I said, you can't touch it, the enemy can't touch it, and you're praying in your most holy faith. So when you finish praying in tongues, you just say, Lord, I believe I received that which I've just prayed for, and I release my most holy faith to bring it to pass. And we walking past these people. I don't want to get them in the screen. They be like, that's that guy that was speaking in tongues. I don't know about that. So, okay, we passed him. So yeah, basically, so it's a heavenly language, and the Bible talks about how beautiful it is. So when they call the guys in the room, they're like, speak, speak, speak. And I'm like, so they're like, where did you learn this from? I mean, I said, how did it sound? And they say, the Bible talks about how beautiful it is and how wonderful it is. So I said, how did it sound? They like, wonderful, beautiful, keep speaking. So I was like, okay, I was speaking. They just was mesmerized by it. So when I went to so I go different places. I remember I was on this job site one time and I was talking to this Polish guy, and all of a sudden we just started talking about God. And then he started, he was talking about his language, and then I was like, yeah, I have a heavenly language. And he was like, heavenly language? I never heard of that, You have a heavenly language? Is it taught? It's like, no. So I just started speaking in tongues. I was like, you want to hear it? And he was like, yeah. I was like, Fesobo kumenke, bokuman saiji, pankupalaka nari kando blokuman stegi, van mustai, manstuvi. And I started moving my hands because I'm talking some stuff now. I wasn't, like in a bragatory way, because he couldn't even understand. I can't even understand. So, but I was just letting them know that this is a pure language. And I began to use my hands just like I'm talking right now. And I use my hands. And I was like, Bostavat busti kenatuvi, bougie niki baila. And he stood there and he was looking at me. He put his hands on his hips. I said, how did it sound? He said, beautiful. Wow. He was like, that was wonderful. He was like, what language is that? And I was like, that's the heavenly language I wasn't taught. He said, nobody taught you that? He like, what are you actually saying? Like, I can listen to it all day. It's like, he said, I've never heard of this before. I feel so relaxed and calm and, oh my goodness. I mean, say it again. And I remember I went to Barbados and, they was talking Barbadian in the store and, whatever language, they call it. And I was ordering some, I think I got some jeans or something, and I put it on the counter. They was talking. And I was like, y'all keep talking that language. I'm talking my language, just joking around. And they was like, what language? What language? I was like, my heavenly language, and, just messing around. And I started speaking in tongues. And they looked at each other. I was like, Savia Stavlo. Mekebe sobre kementavere kalado kumagare. Resta ke la frete. Mansuba. Desa ke la lovra. And sugi la plaza. Jomansuki nidi. And they began to they were mesmerized. And they was like, come. Again, I said, how did it sound? They was like, beautiful. Wow. Where you learn this language from? How can I learn it? It's the word of God. And so I said all that to say, when you talking your heavenly language, and it's a pure prayer, and you talking to God, you can't touch it. The enemy can't touch it, so it becomes pure. And you know that you talking some stuff. And as you praying, you start praying for people, and you praying in tongues. You thinking about this person, and you praying for them as you praying in tongues. You don't know the situation, but God knows the situation. And he know how to direct those tongues. And we're going to be talking about interpretation of tongues in another video. But for this video, we're going to keep it simple. Hey, but and over the years, I know that I'm talking to God, and I know the power that it brings when you pray in tongues. I remember one time the Bible said that the heart of the king is in the hand of the Lord, and He turned it whatsoever He will. Now I'm trying to make this short because I know it's like past 10 minutes right now. But if you can, like I said, you be watching those videos of like dogs fighting with cats for like 10 minutes, and you're like, man, that was pretty cool. If you can watch that, you can listen to this, and you know exactly what I'm talking about. Cats playing with yard. Oh my God. But anyway, I remember Steph and I, we was on vacation, and we was on a cruise ship, and we got off and we went to Mexico. We was off the ship, and we forgot that the time had changed. It was like an hour behind, or hour, whatever. So we was like, oh man, we got another hour. So the hour ahead. So we was like, oh, we got another hour to play around. We shopping, we buying glasses, trying these glasses, all this stuff. And then we was like, okay, it's time to go. Let's get on the ship. So the taxi cab driver, he was driving us to the ship, and the ship was leaving. He said, hey, you guys, hey, that's your ship, it's leaving. I was like, nah, that's not our ship. He was like, yeah, that's our ship. It says right there, Caribbean. That's the only Caribbean ship here. And I was like, oh my God. Because I said, I got $16 in my pocket, and I left my wallet on the ship. So what we gonna do? So I know that the heart of the king is in the hand of the Lord. And like I say, He turns to whatsoever He will. So I began to pray to God in my heavenly language. And in my mind, I'm praying to the captain's heart, the captain of the ship, that he will stop that ship and hold that ship for us. And I stretched out my hands, and I was like, Tande ki livais, Bosse ki leflakamen supekis, Janatha kamanuflakak. Because I know in my mind, if Joshua can hold up his hands and stop the sun and make the sun stand still, so he can finish a battle, because if it's dark, pitch black, they can't see or win the battle. Surely this captain is gonna stop this ship for us. And I began to pray, and me and Steph began to pray, and the cab driver, he began to laugh, and he don't understand. I said, that ship is not gonna leave us, sir. He said, but it's moving, it's going. I said, it's not gonna leave us. It's not going to leave us. And we began to stretch hands and, towards that ship. Long story short, they stopped that ship. They called us a boat, put us on the boat, and we pulled up on the side of the ship. Half of the ship, probably like 3,000 people, was on that side of the ship looking at us. I mean, they had to let down a net for us to climb on the net to get on this ship. So when we got on the ship, people was like, who are these people that the ship is, they left, the ship pulled off and they stopped and they holding for, who are these people? So some people was mad, like, what are these people? Staff was looking at us all angry. So we behind schedule. Anyway, we got word that the captain said, or the staff told us that they wasted $10,000 to $15,000 in gas on stopping the ship, and the motors were still going. They said he wasted, I think it was 15, but I'm just saying. So it was $10,000 to $15,000. No, it was $13,000. It was $13,000 of gas that they wasted by holding the boat for us. But get this, here's the point. They told us that the captain has been driving these ships for 25 years, and that he has never, ever stopped the ship in his entire career for anybody. They said, we don't know what came over him to stop this ship, but he stopped it for y'all. I looked, we didn't say anything. I said, what is his best wine? People are like, why would you buy wine? Because wine represents Jesus' blood. And I said, take him the best, I don't care how much it costs, take him this bottle of wine. And we gonna break bread and have communion. I didn't tell him all that, but I know when he drank that wine, that was a celebration of Jesus' blood. That's just one story on speaking in tongues. Sorry it took almost 17 minutes to explain it, but I think that was pretty good. Hey, it's a free gift. Just ask God for it, and He'll freely give it to you. It may start off as jibber jabber, but I'm telling you, it'll turn into something fiery, and your relationship will go higher than you've ever dreamed or even imagined. Peace.